In this video, I'm going to be going over the marketing and branding must-have for consultants. Now, you're probably thinking I'm going to be going through how to get the sexiest logos and the most beautiful websites. However, you don't need any of that. The only thing that you need is a landing page. Now, I know that that probably goes against everything that you've thought, and you need to go out and spend months on getting on a really, really good, effective business card and all that stuff. But what I see all too often is that like consultants and business owners, they sit around just focusing on the unimportant things and just procrastinate from actually going out into the marketplace and getting paying clients, which is the only thing that matters. They deliberate and they debate about like what color their business card should be, or like ridiculous things about like how their logos and having this letter a little bit small. Like none of that matters, right? They're all the 1%ers. It's not going to, if you have a really, really good logo, that's not going to flood your business with clients, okay? So the only thing that you need to have is not even a full-blown website with multiple pages. You just need one long-form landing page that clearly articulates who it is that you're to serve, and it further articulates the problem that market is having better than what that market could actually describe themselves. And that's pretty much it. You can create a basic logo yourself on something like Keynote or Canva or one of these kind of, free programs where you can basically just put together a basic logo and then away you go. Nobody's going to be looking at your logo and thinking, oh wow, that's just not slick enough. I don't know that I should hire this guy. That's not how it works. It just needs to be clear. It needs to be clean. You need to have the landing page purely so you can show people that you exist, right? If you're going to be cold email or cold calling on people, you need something to send traffic to or for people to check out. And you're going to put about you, you're going to put your services and the other things all on the one page where there is no distractions. They go to the page, they can get a good sense of what you do, and that's it. So don't go and waste time and waste money on these unimportant things like getting the best logo or the slickest business cards or anything like that. Or don't even go pay someone to get a full-blown website at this stage. We're simply out there with our minimum viable offer. We're testing the market and we're going to be going through an iterative process, and all you need are these fundamentals in order to get clients. Now, in terms of like what is the program or platform that you're going to use, or how you're going to get this landing page up and running. Now, we've never ever lived in a day and age like we have today where it's just like you can get things pretty much set up and running by the click of a button. So whether you're using like an Unbounce or a ClickFunnels, or there's hundreds of different resources that you can use to build a landing page, and really like they're all pretty close, and the differences are small trivialities. And I'm going to be including a whole list of resources in the resource section that you can go through, but the whole thing is don't procrastinate and don't deliberate on all these different platforms. Just get started. Movement is better than perfection, and what we really want to do is just get something deployed and something out there that we can start getting people to look at, and we can get closer to landing clients. However, you already might have an existing full-blown website or a landing page out there. Now, what I'm suggesting that you do is basically strip all of that back and follow our proven system that we're going to be showing you later in this course. So essentially, you don't want to have multiple pages and multiple noise and all these different bells and whistles that you think that you need. Clearly, what you need is just compelling copy, a good landing page, and that copy is just to further illustrate that you're addressing your marketplace and that you understand the problems that they are experiencing, and you have the best solution for them to reach what their desired outcome looks like. So throughout this video, you're going to really find out all of those different things of this roadmap to follow and really dive into what your landing page should look like. And I suggest that you follow this because it's proven and I know it works. And next up, what I'm going to be running you through is my step-by-step secret selling system that you can basically use as a scorecard and compare an existing website or landing page that you have and make sure that it has all these key points in my selling system, because this is a proven roadmap. It's a sharpened samurai sword that I know works. So simply use it as a scorecard, compare it to what you're existingly got, and go out there, deploy this, and get some clients. So what you want to do at this stage is just kind of take stock and think about, like, you know, it should be almost like a relief that you don't need to worry about getting all these additional moving parts perfect, and it's only a landing page. And if you do have an existing website or landing page, look how you can really just strip things back to really the essentials. So go ahead and do that now, and I'll see you in the next video where I walk you through my step-by-step secret selling system for your landing page. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through my secret selling system. Now, let me just tell you that you could use this for any medium. It can be direct mail, it can be for Facebook ads, it can be, you know, for Google AdWords. Any single medium that exists, this applies to. But for this video, I'm going to be really showing you how this pertains to building a killer landing page for a consultant, and how you can literally just plug in this system to a landing page format and be getting leads and be getting clients. Now, the first thing that you really want to do is look at step one, which is to call out your audience. Now, as obvious as this sounds, I don't see anybody doing it. Where at the top of your landing page, you just have in all caps, you know, attention business owners, or attention whoever it is the person that you're addressing, attention financial planners, attention New Yorkers who want to lose weight. And really the power of that is that you're kind of getting people in a sea of people to raise their hands and say like that's for me. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very powerful when you're calling out who this is for at the start of your sales message. And it makes everything that follows feel a lot more customized specifically to that audience who you were talking to. Step two is to demand their attention with an attention-grabbing headline, right? So it's basically this headline needs to grab a busy reader by the throat and drag them into your sales copy. So you want to lead with a big promise of the end benefit that they're looking to, you know, receive. Finally, a way to lose weight without spending hours of cardio every day. And then you want to have a sub-headline that goes on to just simply kind of back up that big, bold promise that you've made in the headline and get them to read it. So the headline, you know, David Ogilvy was famous to say, by the time that you've written your headline, you've already spent 90 cents of your advertising dollar. And you know, your headlines will be read 5 times more than any other copy on your page. So it's really important that you don't think like, oh, you know, I can cover those points later on in the copy. No, like the headline is your opportunity to do that. You really need to grab these busy people by the throat and stop them and demand their attention with this, you know, headline that's going to stop people in their tracks. So after you've written your big attention-grabbing headline and like, you know, then written your sub-headline that further positions and kind of reaffirms that big promise that you're making, now it's time to dial up the intrigue and suck people into your sales message. So what you must know is that on a landing page, that every single step is designed to get the person to read the next step. Right? You can't sell somebody on what you want them to do unless they read your sales message. So basically what you do is when you're writing your headline, you're going to have a few different variations. And what I want you to do is to take all those variations. You should be writing at least 10 to 20 different variations of your headline. And in this thing, what you want to do is create irresistible bullet copy. So bullet copy is really just bullet points that dial up the intrigue about what they're going to be learning throughout this, or the problems that they're going to be solving throughout this. And a great way to do that is to take the variations of your headline and basically customize them and tweak them to have a lot of intrigue in it, where you can basically have different headlines that go throughout the page for your bullet points that really suck people into the sales message. And things that are great, like little known secrets to achieve X that, you know, you don't know. So you must kind of use wordings and kind of get people engaged in these bullets. And the whole idea is about basically creating irresistible intrigue and really getting them fascinated to learn more about what this landing page is going to cover. Step 4 is to identify the problem. So after the headline and the sub-headline, this is the most important copy on the page. And really what this does is it kind of illustrates to the reader and to your prospects that you understand the problems that they're experiencing, right? Something really powerful happens when you can describe to your prospects better than they can themselves the problem that they're experiencing. So you really need to kind of agitate those problems by going in and really identifying identifying it and showing that like all the things that are wrong with how they're currently doing it, or all the problems that they're experiencing them, and really kind of, putting salt in the wound and kicking the bruised knee in terms of, letting them know that they need to move, right? Because the reality of it is, like, people sometimes say, oh, I don't want my copy to be negative, like I just want it to be positive. It has been proven that people are much more motivated to move away from pain than they are to move towards pleasure. So this does two things. One, it basically agitates the problem and gets them to move and act, because you're really agitating and kind of throwing salt in that wound and getting them motivated to take action. At the end of the day, comfort is the enemy to change, and is there comfort in the current state that they are, they're not going to be taking the desired action that you want them to. And two, by also illustrating that you understand them, you understand the problems that they're experiencing better than they do themselves, then it ultimately qualifies you in that prospect's mind that you are the proven expert and the authority in this space. And a good example of, kind of agitating that pain is, even the way that I do things at King Kong, or if you're looking at like, a business consultant, and you think about really, for somebody that's looking to generate leads, what are the pain points that they're experiencing? And generally that I've found from my research that most businesses are reliant off referrals, or, they don't really have a proven system for generating leads and then converting those leads into clients. So the way that I kind of agitate the pain is like, do you wake up in the morning and to look at an inbox of maybe 1 or 2 unqualified leads that are just price shoppers or really unqualified prospects? Like, do you worry about where your next clients are going to come from, and are you worried that your business isn't on sound footing and you spend the weekends worrying about work when you can never really switch off and enjoy the fruits of your hard work? So what that really just allows us to do is, throughout that exercise, it just puts us in the shoes of that prospect and allows us to say, look, we understand all the problems and uncertainties that you're going through, and that there is a better way to do things. Because there's no, if you're going to be agitating that problem so much, they're obviously expecting the solution to come after that. You're not just going to be agitating the problems and letting them sit there in their discomfort. They know that, one, you've identified them, you're agitating, and then they're also in anticipation for what's next to follow. Step 5, to provide a solution. So now where we're at is we've agitated that state, we've basically clearly demonstrated that we understand all the problems, and at this state they're starving for what the solution is and just to put a remedy on this wound that you've just thrown salt into. So that's when you basically just unveil what the solution is. So like, you're sick and tired of doing all of those things, and then you're basically going to illustrate like how there is a better way and how you can basically achieve the desired outcome of not having all that uncertainty and all that pain, with positioning your service and the way that you sell things to being the solution to what that problem is that you just agitated. Now, the action item for this video is spend the time right now and write 10 to 20 headlines while this is all still fresh in your mind. And spend the time, spend 30 minutes, an hour, and really crafting these headlines. And then once you've done that, go ahead and share them in the community and have people vote on which headline they think is the most attention grabbing and really kind of addresses what the problem is that market is having. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in the next video. Now that we've grabbed their attention and we've kind of stopped them in their tracks, now it's time to kind of show your credentials in step 6. So at this stage, we've agitated their problems and then we've shown them a solution for those problems. However, like anything, their kind of skepticism radar is going to start to go off right about now, because at the end of the day, people have generally bought a few solutions to their problems and they haven't gotten the desired outcome that they're looking for. So this is kind of a point to really kind of illustrate to that person of how you are different and to how you can help them. So basically, with showing your credentials, there's a whole way that we can do that. And one way is to kind of list out the results that you've achieved for past clients or for yourself, or how you're experiencing these problems and how you use this system to kind of solve those problems and get to where you are now. You can also use successful case studies from previous or former clients and show them the transformation that those clients went through. You can also show logos
logos of prestigious companies that you've worked with or partners or anything along those lines of kind of building up the social proof in any way that you can. Or you can also show the number of clients that you've worked with. If you're in a high volume business, you can kind of, mention the number of clients, anything that kind of speaks to the experience and the credentials that you have. Then what you could also do is mention like kind of press mentions. If you've been a contributor to any blogs or you've been featured or your website's been featured on anything, you want to basically reference those points in the use of logos, as seen in, and really kind of piggyback off other bigger brands or other businesses to kind of further lift your credibility. Then another thing that you want to do is any awards or recognitions or certifications or industry bodies that you're a member of, you want to make sure that those things are all showcased, front and center. It further adds the credentials and adds to the credibility of you as a consultant and as you as a business owner. So you basically want to go through those steps and include all of those points and kind of stack that credentials one on top of each other. You might be in a position where you may only have one of them, you may have none of them, you may have all of them. Whatever that you have, you want to basically put them to use to further show your credentials. Now, you might just be starting out and not have any of these points, or you might be looking at it and go like, I don't have any client case studies. And I know there's kind of like this thought out there in the consulting and coaching spaces that you need to have like a long list of client credentials and video testimonials and all of these kind of things. And that's a fallacy. You don't need those things to get clients, right? All you need to be able to do is basically show that you understand the problem that that market is having and show that you have the solution to basically take that person from their less desirable before state to a more desirable after state. And you just need to articulate that, and you need to be the best in your market at articulating that you understand that problem and that you have a solution. So don't worry if you don't have any of these things yet. You have to start somewhere. I started somewhere. This process is a lot of different tools that you can use and that you can apply to your landing page. These things will strengthen it, but they won't, if you don't have them, it's not going to make it so you don't have the ability to get clients. So just focus on the other steps in this selling system and you will be successful. Step 7 is to detail the benefits. Now, you must understand that obviously features tell and benefits sell. So that you don't want to be talking in all the kind of gizmo and latest little things and all the kind of very specific features of the service that you provide. And you want to focus more on the benefits. What does that end outcome deliver to that person? Making them, fitter, stronger, sexier, richer, healthier, more freedom, all of those kind of things. And you really want to kind of make them visceral. You want it like so they can also like you're in their shoes and they can taste that. They can taste the benefits of what it would feel like of achieving the state that you're saying that your product or your solution would basically deliver them to. Step 8, social proof. So this is where you further go on to kind of show your credentials in the form of social proof. So if you don't have, any client testimonials or anything like that to add at this stage, feel free to use statistics. Go find authorities in your space that have made quotes and kind of include that within your landing page as like a reference point to, this problem really being prevalent in that market. And use any elements of social proof that you can have, whether it's badges, whether it's like site seal certifications or, testimonials or quotes or anything along those lines, statistics that you can kind of build up that this is like a problem there, it is out there, and also a nod that you're involved in this space and this is a real problem that you're solving. So the action item for this video is go ahead and any of those kind of bullets or ammunition that I've given you at the start of this secret selling system process, share them in the group, get people's feedback, see what other people have to say about it. So go ahead and do that now and we'll see you in the next video.
Step 9, making your Godfather offer. So using the Godfather strategy, you create a Godfather offer, which is basically to make an irresistible offer to your prospect that they simply can't refuse. And this is where 99% of people get it wrong. They don't have an irresistible offer. They have a resistible offer. This needs to be so compelling and so convicting that, it makes people so they can't sleep at night and they're tossing and turning until they buy the products and services that you've got. It really needs to strike a chord and be so compelling that it will really stop them in their tracks. And some tips on how to do that is to make sure that it's clear and easy to understand. Do not make it vague, not vanilla. It can't be an ordinary offer that has that person just saying like, so what at the end of it, right? It needs to be like, how can they offer this? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, there's so much value in it. There's so much intrigue. Like, I can't stop, but I have to accept that offer. Another thing is to make, like, just stack the value up on it, where it's like, you know, you're not generally having a price attached to it. It's generally free or a very low ticket price point, where, you know, you have people questioning to how it's possible to deliver so much value for such low price or for free. Then the other thing is it must be concise. Don't make it some long-winded 500-word thing. You know, you need to sum it up so it's just one sentence and you can clearly articulate it to your audience. And ultimately, it has to be persuasive, right? A Godfather offer in its DNA is the most persuasive of all offers that possibly exists. So you really need to kind of make it as irresistible as possible. Think about other things that you can stack on to just make it ridiculous. Step 10, add bonuses. So think of anything that you could kind of add onto that core offer that would be like a sweetener and add even more value. To really just kind of, you imagine that person's just on the edge of buying and you want to keep throwing bonuses at them until they just finally pushes them over the edge. So think about any other additional thing that may already be a part of the core service that you do, but you haven't splintered it off and kind of illustrated that it could be an extra bonus. And whatever they are, kind of list out all of those bonuses and then just add them to that core offer as a PS or as a bonus to even add further more value. An example of a bonus might be, you might be a PR consultant and you might be offering, you know, a free kind of consultation. And as a bonus, you'll do like a PR audit of their brand name and what it is. And you can put even $1 of value attached to that and say it's usually you charge $197 for it, but you'll be including it in the free consultation as an added bonus. Step 11, stack the value. So this is where you really want to think of all the different benefits that your service provides and you just want to stack them on top of each other. You want to stack those bonuses. You want to stack the core offer where you're just bundling up all that value where it's just irresistible. So a great way to do that is itemizing all of the different value points and even putting a price point next to it and then saying like usually and then putting a combined total value of that and then showing them how much it would be as to buy these things all separately or to get all of these usually in the marketplace all separately and then just say like, you know, you won't be paying any of that today and this is what you'll be paying or this offer will be for free. So just really stacking all the value points that there possibly is throughout the whole page in that one section and summarizing that as like a little mini bomb where it's just like they just see it all in one place and they're just like, wow. Step 12, and now this really leads on from the past point in step 11 that we were talking about in stacking the value. Right now you've got all of those points laid out with like, you know, a superficial price next to them and it moves on where it says like you won't be paying that and this is when you reveal what your price is. And after you've stacked that value and brought it up so high, it really goes on to a transaction takes place where value exceeds price, right? So in their mind you've built the value so high and then they're expecting it to be a certain amount of dollars and then you come in and you say but you won't pay that and this is what the price is or it's free today, whatever it might be. It's where you kind of reveal that price in conjunction with just kind of stacking the value and it really makes that price point seem like a no-brainer and seems it to be of irresistible value to your prospects. When I say reveal your price, what I'm meaning is here, like we're obviously got a landing page and we're consultants, right? And in order for a sale to take place, it involves us getting onto the telephone and speaking to somebody, okay? So what I really mean is that we're gonna be really kind of pitching that initial consult. And we do definitely want to apply a dollar value next to that consult. Just saying it's a free consultation and not putting any dollar value attached to it, there's not gonna be any perceived value around that. So you may be a PR consultant ordering like an audit or putting together, a PR blueprint of how they can blow their brand up. You need to say that usually that would be $997 or $400 or whatever the price point that you feel is a really fair estimate of the value that they would be getting, and then say that it's free. So we're not talking about selling e-commerce products on this page. We're just kind of pre-framing and really kind of selling that consult. Step 13, inject scarcity. Now, scarcity is a proven technique to get people to act, right? When things are limited, that's when people are really going to take action. If you just say that you have a free consultation and it's free forever, then what's the motivation for someone to take action now? And if there is no motivation for them to take action now, when do you think they will take action? The answer is never, right? So if someone's going to put things off, it's just never going to happen. So when we inject scarcity, that also prompts people just to kind of make action and take action now. So, you want to use words like the doors are closing, or, there's 5 consults left, or we're offering these consultations for free this month because we've got a new team member and we've got more capacity, or whatever it might be. You need to prove to them that this is a limited offer and it is scarce and that it won't be around forever, and that they need to take action now. Step 14, give a powerful guarantee. So powerful guarantees, what they do is they remove any resistance to purchase something. And you might be thinking, like, I don't have a guarantee, or I don't want to offer a guarantee. You need to understand the importance of having a guarantee in some way, shape, or form. And the way that I always like to pose it to people is, okay, so if I hired you as a consultant and I used your services and I wasn't happy in 30 days, how would you treat that problem? And in most instances, they say like, oh, I would keep working with you until you were happy, or I would give you X amount of refund, or, I would keep changing this until we achieve the desired outcome that you wanted to. And that is a guarantee. That's a satisfaction guarantee. Or if you give them money back, that's a money back guarantee. So you need to put them to work, right? That really makes it a no-brainer for them if they know that their desired outcome is guaranteed, or that you will keep working with them for free until you reach that desired outcome. And this is why it's really important to offer it, because it will remove any resistance to make that sale. Step 15, the call to action. So this is really important. Don't ask them to take action. Tell them to take action, right? You want to be the leader, you want to lead them and just tell them, this is what I want you to do next. So go ahead and book in your 60-minute free consultation and I'll speak to you shortly. So as I said, right, as a consultant, in order to make a sale, it involves us getting onto the telephone and speaking to people. So that's the only call to action that you really want to have, is basically facilitating something that's going to end in a phone call and end in you getting on the phone with somebody to further go through a little bit of a problem analysis with them and then show them that you've got the solution. So you want to make that really bold. You want to include your call to actions throughout your landing page, and you don't want to ask them to do it. You just want to tell them to go ahead and book that in right now. Step 16, the warning. So a warning is really, really good, because after you've done your call to action and they're like sitting there and they might be thinking at this stage, they'll be probably sitting on that part of your page and just waiting there for a moment and giving it some thought after you've told them what to do. And then you kind of again want to, they kind of think, okay, cool, I've just read all that, there's a call to action there. And then you want to warn them that, what would happen if they didn't take action. Do you know what I mean? These spots are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone. Right? We're not going to have them every month, or once they're fully booked, they're gone and you won't be able to book in again. Or this is something that we're trialing over the next month, and then after we're going to be paying for these consultations. And so you really need to kind of put a little bit of a jab to get them to take action again after they've read through your whole landing page, they've seen the call to action. We're going to finish with that warning. Step 17, close with a reminder. So this is where you'll have PS copy at the very end of the page. And this is the third most read piece of content on the entire landing page. And basically what its job to do is, in no more than a paragraph, is just to basically summarize all the benefits that you've made claims to in that landing page, having the warning and creating that scarcity, and then telling them to take the action that you're asking them to do. Now the action item for this video, once you've gone through my step-by-step secret selling system and you've created your landing page, share it in the community, share it on social, and let us other consultants kind of weigh in and all celebrate this landing page that you've just created.
In this video, I'm going to be discussing with you your marketing budget while you're still bootstrapped. So at this stage, you've got your first paying clients. We've gone through all these different techniques for the one-to-one selling, right? However, when you're looking to really kind of level up and transcend is when you need to start looking at actually advertising your services and have advertising do the grunt work for you. So you're not out there cold calling on people. For me, the real kind of breakthrough and like quantum shift that I made was when kind of I applied my salesmanship from this one-to-one selling, and instead of kind of being able to call on 100 people a day, I started creating ads that could call on 100,000 people a day. So what you really need to start thinking about is, devoting at least 20 to 30% of your revenue that you're getting from your clients now into an actual marketing budget and start putting money to work for you and putting sales messages out there in front of people like I'll be covering later on in this course with all the different paid traffic strategies that you can utilize to basically multiply your salesmanship and make them like a mini army of people that go out and sell a lot more people than you're able to contact in that one-to-one environment. Now, even though I mentioned that you should be spending 20 to 30% of like your top line revenue into marketing, I've always found these percentages to be a little bit redundant and ridiculous in the terms of, look, you should only really have a marketing budget if your marketing isn't working, right? Because when we show you in this course how to create this sales getting machine where you put $1 in and $3 can come out, why would you limit yourself to kind of how much money that you should be spending? It really comes down to your appetite of how big that you want to take this business and how fast that you want to scale it. And as a kind of rule of thumb, I think 20 to 30% is a safe bet, but I don't want you to kind of be constrained to that. If you've got a machine that's working and it's making much more money than you're putting in, then really the sky's the limit in terms of the scalability of that business. So in this course, the reason that we've really provided you guys with the ability to use these cold outreach templates, if you don't have a marketing budget or existing money to throw at this, maybe you're literally living off every dollar that you're generating right now as a consultant, you can basically utilize these free strategies on the cold email templates and cold calling to a point where you have enough money saved up in the kitty to deploy to these advertising mediums, and for me, it really wasn't until like about 6 months where I decided that I want to start kind of throwing paid traffic at this beast and really starting to scale up. So feel free to utilize those services for as long as you have enough money up, but know that that is simply a means to the end, and where you really unlock a lot of freedom in your business is when you start advertising, put money in harm's way and multiplying your money. So up to this point, I've really been kind of illustrating these cold outreach and cold email and cold calling strategies because I haven't want there to be any barriers to entry for you actually getting out there or having a lack of a claim of resources for you to be able to get out there and start generating clients and making money. But really what I'm going to be showing you later in this course is incredibly powerful. I'm literally going to be opening the kimono, pulling back the curtain and showing you how to create a lead getting, sales generating machine that works for you on autopilot. A system that will generate you clients that are banging down your door, that are ready, willing, and able to do business with you. And they're asking for you to make time to speak to them. And they're booking in on your calendar and literally will just flood your consulting business with a torrential downpour of buyers. And for that module, you're really going to need to spend money and deploy money in order to get that machine running and to put fuel in that system for it to start spitting out appointments and generating clients for you on autopilot. Now the action item for this video is I want you to go ahead and pull out that workbook and really kind of just start to detail what that marketing budget might look for you, like whether it's 20 or 30%. And what I really want you to do is kind of envision where you might be in 12 months from now and how much that you might be spending on advertising. And I really don't want you to look at advertising as a cost to your business. And I see it all too often, like consultants that are kind of, they wear it as a badge of honor that they get all of their clients from referrals, that they don't advertise. And the way that you really want to look at advertising as an investment into your consulting business, because the reality of it is that there is no other type of investment vehicle on planet Earth that gives you the type of returns that paid advertising does. We're talking about putting $1 into the machine and getting $2, $3, $5, $15 back, right? If there was a vending machine down the end of your street that you could put $1 in and $10 would come back out, what would you be doing? You'd be going out there scrambling, trying to get as much money as you possibly could to put into that vending machine and have it multiply the money. And when doing paid advertising correctly, this is the kind of system that I'll be showing you how to create.